Hey, what were you asking me before? Like, what would my stand be?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because I had like thought of this before, and I can't remember exact like which song title I had decided on. I wanted to say like that's some or like I wanted to say it was like something like the Pretender, which is a Foo Fighters song.
Ooh, that's a good one actually.
Yeah, because I actually because I had watched Heavy Traffic and like one of the characters. I had thought of like what the main character's stand would be because I actually like sort of like writing a sort of fan fiction in my head like after I'd finished watching it.
This ain't my stand. You know that that those they take like the weird dark hentai and turn them into metalcores. I just what's that one like? I'm not even gonna say it, but
Was it Cheerleader or Concubine?
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be actually a pretty good stand name.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
I'm
but
this over. I'm sorry, man.
yeah, like right now we have like this horrible Tumblr comic in front of us, which I mean, you mentioned this feeling of dread. That's also a bit of a calm before the storm. Jonesy is the one in front of us right now.
Yeah.
It's I would not recommend it. Let's just leave it at that. I think the publisher is actually the same one that published the
Oh shit, it is.
yeah. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Welcome to the Monkey Bar. This is episode 8 or 9. I'm not sure. Like, because we have a bunch of these out of order right now.
Yeah.
Or like the one that was supposed to go up today, I was a little lazy, so it might go up tomorrow. Or, I mean, it doesn't matter because today.
You'll be reading. You'll by the time this one comes out, that one will already be out.
Right. Probably both of the ones that have been.
Redundant chronology is the term.
Whatever. Well, today's episode we're talking about comics, as we've alluded to. There's one comic that's really good and one comic that's not really good at all.
I'm going to steal a thing. It's like the Necronomicon from H.P. Lovecraft's lore. If you put it on the same shelf as your other comics, they slowly turn black and fall apart.
Next to a cookbook. All right. But like we're getting ahead of ourselves again. Let's get started with the one good comic, and it's called. And I had to Google it as Orc and Elf comic, but it's the full title is A Friendly Orc's Daily Life, and this is a comic. Yeah, Zach's laughing because you just read this recently upon my recommendation, right?
Like last week, or actually Sunday, I got started. And then I finished it today.
But this is a comic it's basically a parody of porn, not to be confused with a porn parody, which would be like Star Wars or Indiana Bones, like one of those.
It ain't insert movie.
It ain't XXX, a XXX parody,
Yeah.
Whatever. But like this is like a parody of the tropes you would see in a comic for perverts.
From what I've gathered, the Japanese really like seeing orcs screw elves.
Yeah, specifically rape.
Yeah.
Not just screw, but like non-consensual sexual intercourse with elves, as done by big burly bear orcs. But this one is like a parody of those tropes, where like the elf princess, like this elf princess is like this runaway, like she's like this really perverted girl, which I actually find this trope really hilarious because it's like it's always funny when it's
The anti-Princess Peach.
yeah, basically depending on like what if you look at the subtext of the Mario games. But this small childlike elf girl, she runs away and like encounters she's probably looking for this guy, but she's like finds this big burly orc and has fantasies about being raped and stuff. She's like, oh no, please don't penetrate my cervix and turn my vagina into a big sloppy mess. And the orc is just like, whatever. I just want to be left alone.
My favorite line is, I don't like hearing little girls talk like that.
Yeah, and she just goes like, okay. But then she keeps like following him and
This orc is the embodiment of a cold shower.
yeah, like there's a joke later on where they're asking like, is he gay? Does he have erectile dysfunction?
Oh, that's the thing about ED. I thought they were talking about, is he Ed?
Yeah, they have like a little note there, like saying, ED means erectile dysfunction.
I missed that.
Translator's note: Keikaku means plan. Have you seen that meme?
No, but I know of it.
I think that's like a Death Note fan sub where like Light is going like all according to Keikaku. and it's like the subtitle says, translators know, Keikaku means plan.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they were probably just doing that to fool around. But yeah, this comic is great. It's kind of like it reminds me a lot of Pepe Le Pew, Looney Tunes,
It does.
except with the genders reversed.
Yeah. If this was ever done in an animated medium, I can see like John Goodman playing the orc.
Really?
He's got that. I like John Goodman, but you have a deep. Have you ever played Mass Effect the original?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Remember the character Rex?
That was him?
Yeah. That's how I picture the orc's voice. Yeah.
I can picture The Rock playing the orc in this, or Vin Diesel.
If it was the Rock, there'd be all these housewives running at him as well.
And but yeah, this is I really like.
Isn't it by a guy named Jin? Gin?
It sounds about right because I think I had gotten him confused with Jinu, this guy I follow on Twitter who also draws sexually suggestive art.
Oh, my other favorite line was something to the effect of like, "My day isn't complete without waves of ahigo."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Or like I like when she like throws herself on the floor like a little child, and she's like, "I'm not going anywhere until my cervix gets
No, it's membrane.
Membrane, yeah. And then they put membrane in quotes for some reason.
Yeah. And also my favorite thing is when the adventurer comes over and the adventurer's making me think of Deku from Hero.
Yeah. It's kind of made me think of Shouda from Dragon Maid, like the little purple-haired kid.
Kind of.
Yeah, and remember that?
Vaguely. I need to rewatch that.
He's a kid who, like, the really big-titted, there's a Lukoa or Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, the one that probably has major back issues.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's like in the third chapter.
What I like though is that you can tell this person kind of understands the medium very well.
Yeah, the characters are actually pretty well written, I'd say.
They're great subversion.
Like the development act especially, but like because you don't really expect character development to happen in like these little dumb parody comics, but like
I think when you start dumb, you get good. Dumb can become brilliant very easily. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to write brilliant, it becomes dumb very easy. I've noticed.
Yeah, but it's like how the orc is initially like just wants absolutely nothing to do with the perverted elf girl, but she keeps like shoehorning her way into his life, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll just put up with you.
Oh, my other favorite line was like, I have a gift for you. That's I picture her voice, and he's like, better not be underwear.
Yeah, because like that's the end of the first chapter. Is like when she finally leaves, she like leaves him her panties.
Yeah, I also noticed that they draw him without eyes constantly, or they just do the shading of the socket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also.
I'm not sure what they call it, but I noticed when they do, not that I'm into hentai or anything like that.
Sure.
But like whenever they do like the big burly monster dudes, they always take out the eyes. Mm-hmm. They almost dehumanize them with that.
Yeah, I also noticed how in the third chapter it's where they incorporate the video game stuff into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sort of conflicted about that. I mean, on one hand, it is sort of understandable in this day and age. Like video games, especially in Japan, they're more mainstream than ever.
This game has a lot of, this comic has a lot of video game tropes with.
Yeah, like they say, the sorceress teaming up with
78.
Yeah, level 78, and she's teaming up with the young hero who's like a level 1. She's like trying to protect him because that the plot twist at the end is that she's secretly a Shadokon. It's like, oh, spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah. Yo, we're spoiling the shit out of this, man.
Yeah, and we'll spoil the shit out of the next one.
Because we have this one we actually care about. Not care about, but like we actually respect.
Yeah. And this one's been around for like a couple of years, actually. I remember first reading this a year ago on 8chan, actually.
Was that before the big scandal?
Before what big scandal?
I thought there was a child porn scandal in 8chan.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like 7 or 8chan.
Yeah, it's probably there's porn on 4chan for a while, child porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those sites are notorious for having that shit up for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I hope to do a part 4.
Yeah, me too.
Because I didn't realize I needed it in my life.
Mm-hmm. I think at the end of the second chapter, the artist actually acknowledges that it became super popular overseas. Like, over here in the United States. And that might actually be from 8chan and 4chan sharing it. Yeah.
I actually think that I may have encountered this referenced on a 4chan TG thing.
Really?
That they were doing a D&D campaign, and there was a bunch of orcs doing orc stuff, and an elf showed up who kept like trying to get in their pants until the big DM's reveal was these orcs don't have genitals, they're Warhammer orcs, and they just leave her sitting there in the rain, and I had to sit at the table and I apologize.
What's the female version of blue balls?
Blue waffles.
Oh. Thanks. I mean, I've never actually seen that image, but I've heard about it, and I just refuse to Google that.
I think we all should. Like, I got linked that as a look. Check out this recipe. Yeah.
But I actually like went to Know Your Meme to like just sort of detour around that, and I'm like,
I think they need to like make like a list of shock sites that are known.
yeah. I mean, I've heard that Goatsy like they have a warning up before they show you the image, which kind of defeats the purpose. So I do have mixed feelings about that, because like that's the point of a shock site, is to shock you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh man.
Maybe I'm just jealous because there wasn't that child safety that I had like when I was growing up. Now like they're just sanding off the edges of like the tables of the internet.
No, we're standing up the edges to the tables of the guy's anus being pulled open. I'm sorry, man.
You ever seen safe for work porn?
No.
That's where they like take photos of porn, or they did one for Goatsy.
Like, didn't they do like the monkey and they're giving it the haircut?
Yeah, or no, it's not like that. It's like where they actually draw over it in Microsoft Paint, so it looks like a woman eating a banana, or something stupid like that.
I see. I might need to Google that.
I think there was like a video version of that once, where somebody took the time to animate it or rotoscope it, and it's really funny.
Yeah, we had a sharp turn on this one.
Yeah. But this comic is really good.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Shrek if you think about it. Instead of donkey, it's a small lolly elf girl who wanders into
the perverted princess.
Yeah, the perverted princess. And I kind of like that trope. I would also recommend this comic.
Hold on, crap, I had a joke in my head. You know, he's walking on sunshine, some pun of like one of the many songs Smash Mouth did. Anyways, yeah, I'm trying to avoid the next part, but I really want to dig into it at the same time.
Yeah, we can take an intermission and talk about...
How about that Fallout 76?
Oh, yeah, I heard about... Yeah, I saw that they announced... Is that the official title?
Yes. Apparently, it takes place in 2102. So the apocalypse ain't even done yet.
Right.
I heard rumors that it's going to have this Dark Souls-like feature where if you go into, like, the one mode, people will get randomly generated mutants and raiders. And that you play as them and your mission is to kill the Vault Dweller. That'd be kind of cool.
So you can play as a raider?
Yeah, but not in the story mode, sadly.
I'm predicting there's going to be a Battle Royale mode.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, you mentioned Dark Souls. Like,
Yeah.
That's one of the buzzwords.
I'm sorry, man. I like Dark Souls.
And I like Fallout. I've been playing New Vegas, and I really love New Vegas.
New Vegas is the second best in the series. Nothing will beat Fallout 2, in my opinion. Because New Vegas is Fallout 2, but with FPS controls.
And that's kind of what turned me off of the first Fallout was the controls in that.
Yeah, what I like about Fallout 2, my favorite thing is all the jokes. Like, you can find Pinky and the Brain in the game, and they're two mole rats. And they type it out by Pinky and the Brain. And they, instead of taking over worlds, taking over Vichy, which is where the Chinese nuclear submarine ran into California. Man, they should really make if they get the budget, just make an entire United States Fallout, like Fallout 5. Have Obsidian come back, call it like Fallout Road Trip.
I don't know if they'd be able to handle something that big. Well, I don't know. I haven't played Pillars of Eternity yet.
Yeah.
I heard that was really good.
I've been playing Tyranny. I can sum it up in one thing. You can kick an old lady off a building. Oh, basically the game is you're the villain. Your question is how much of a villain are you going to be? Are you going to be Darth Vader or are you going to be Emperor Sidious?
Speaking of video games, one series that I've been meaning to get into is Yakuza.
Oh, I heard it's good.
Yeah, I just saw a video put out by Super Eye Patch Wolf about the series, and I think he sold me on it. I'm thinking about picking up Yakuza 0, because he said that's a good game to start with.
Yeah, I'm going to annoy the hell out of you, man. I pre-ordered Jurassic World Evolution because they sold me finally. And I mentioned this earlier, and the reason why is you can actually pick what genes you put in your genetically engineered monsters. And apparently, if you put, like, Komodo dragon genes, your dinosaurs become venomous. So you can build these horrifying monstrosities against creation and release them in your park.
You ever played any of the Monster Hunter games?
Oh, I got Monster Hunter World, and I also had the original on the PSP. I have to say this. I like Monster Hunter World. I get my ass whooped. Like, there's a couple monsters. You know that? Have you played Monster Hunter World or seen any gameplay?
I've seen gameplay.
Have you seen that big yellow bastard? He's the one that basically devours his enemies.
No, I haven't.
Basically, he eats them and gets a gigantic stomach and can hit you with it. Basically, it's an iguana from hell, and he's my favorite thing to kill because I figured out all of his weak points. And I went into a new area. Yay, new area! And I fight this fish. Yeah, I can kick this fish's ass. And then, like, hey, look, it's the actual monster on the cover. And next thing I know, it's a flying Godzilla that throws poison. It's not even the baddest mofo in the game. It's Dark Souls level hard.
Yeah. I've actually been playing Dark Souls Remastered. I got half off because I already owned the Prepare to Die version. This new one has been getting sort of mixed reviews because like some of the glitches from the first one haven't been fixed. I'm hoping that they patch it out because there's some glitches that I've encountered that are they're noticeable.
Did you know that in the original version of Dark Souls, you know the bonfires? There's going to be an enemy that was a fake bonfire. So you go to heal and it will one-shot you.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god. I want them to bring that in as a DLC. Call it like, the Gauntlet of Misery. And you just like make it even harder.
But I do like how it's 60 frames per second. That's one thing that annoyed me about the original Dark Souls was that, well, on PC it was it was capped at 30 frames a second.
I like the world Dark Souls build.
Yeah.
Like, people don't talk enough about that world building. I'm a huge proponent of it when it's done well. I hope I use that word right.
Yeah. Same with New Vegas, I want to say.
Yeah, that's Obsidian for New Vegas because they're the guys who made Fallout. Like, I like Nuka World. That's cool. Nothing will beat Caesar's Legion or Kaiser's Legion because the big reveal that he's actually a gentle old man who runs it. Oh, I think they could make a really good Fallout, like make it a Netflix show. And I would have each episode based around a faction. And you never get to see the Vault Dweller on screen except, like, you'd see him pass by from, like, he seized our camp, or have, like, the sole survivor, like, do a whole episode from a Superman's point of view.
Yeah, well, I could see it done as a, like, anthology series like that, where it's, like, one, like, a story of one tribe or one faction, like, and it's, like, from beginning, it would be, like, an episodic thing. And yeah, you could have like the Vault Dweller or a super mutant or like a central character sort of wandering from each of these scenarios.
And how I would end it is the very first one's this guy talk, and then it's implied he's a Vault Dweller, and at the end the actual Vault Dweller walks in and shoots him at him and says, "I hate you, Pa. You killed my mom," and he just walks away. I would never let me direct Fallout because I would play up the Fallout 2 stuff. Like,
you ever read the script for the proposed Fallout movie?
No, is it bad?
Well, it's interesting. I guess because I remember reading, I didn't read the whole thing, but I read basically a synopsis of it, and I read the first couple of, like the first scene. And it's interesting how, because like it opens up where it's like set pre-war, where it's some guy on a train and he's just having like a mental breakdown. So and all of a sudden he like starts running and he runs off of the set, where it's like, it's actually set in the vault where like they have like these sets built up to sort of imitate pre-war life. And
they kind of did that in Fallout 4 with the one. Or have you played any of the DLCs?
Not all of them.
Oh, have you been to Far Harbor?
Yeah.
There's actually, remember that vault with all the ghouls?
Yeah.
That's kind of like that, where they had the fake set, or wasn't it? I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
Sounds familiar. I'm not sure.
It's the one where like they had the beach and it's just water and they have a painting of the sea.
I mean, I don't think I got to that.
If you ever read the lore, Vault-Tec is a wicked company.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the point. Is that they weren't formed to protect people. They were formed to like experiment. Yeah. And I think at the end of that script for the movie, it was revealed that the war was caused by Vault-Tec, which I'm not really fond. I'm kind of iffy on that.
Do you know what I would do for a Fallout movie? And this is gonna be, you know what I would do? Have it follow a bunch of bad guys and introduce them to an even worse faction. Like, you know, have like you know, a mutant, he's the neck breaker. You have like a tribal shaman who does all the like medicines, and then they like walk over and it's Caesar Leeson crucifying people, and the one guy goes, "NCR wasn't that bad."
But I think that we should probably. I think that it's time for us to stop talking about things that we like and move on to
Brave Chef Brianna.
Yes, or as I like to call her, stunning and brave Chef Brianna.
We should cut into this.
Who was also, yeah. That's the first thing we see is a fat woman cutting cake.
Like.
Oh, I mean, we may as well sum this up first. I think you discovered this before I did.
It was. I was at our local comic shop and I saw this. And Tumblr has good stuff. I'll say that both Tumblr and 4chan can be equally good. But you know that Tumblr art style? You know, they kind of do the nose thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like... So I opened it up and it's, there's a recipe inside. Oh. And I flipped through it. And I want you to describe the page, the first thing you told me on Facebook Messenger. The Eternal.
Oh yeah, where it's like she's hiring. I guess. Well, the plot is that this 20-something woman,
maybe even younger than that.
Probably 19 or something. I mean, she comes across like that. It's a
person. She comes across like a 12-year-old.
Yeah. As most of these characters do. But like, her father is dying. Her father's like this famous chef who has like 15 children. Or 15 sons and one daughter, her being the daughter, and he says, you know, go forth, my children, make your own restaurants, and whoever.
Well, we'll basically give you the family legacy.
Whoever does the best, you inherit my legacy. Not really his fortune. It's not really specified whether
they basically say everyone gets an equal cut of the money, but who wants to live up my family's name?
Yes, so there's not really that much of a risk. But anyway, she sets up shop in Monster City, which I didn't realize that there were going to be monsters in the book.
Was that like a little surprise for you when you just saw like Nagas and monsters?
Kind of. Yeah, there were monsters on the cover, and I guess I kind of like my eyes just glazed over that. Maybe because the art is really not impressive at all. It's competent at best and at worst.
The covers look better than the entire thing. I mean, that's true for a lot of comics, but really, it's like. It goes from like mock Disney, as I call it, to Cal art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cal arts is like people are really starting to hammer on that style.
Well, you got me hammering it because now I can't unsee it.
Yeah. But yeah, she sets up a restaurant in. I think it's just called Brianna's Restaurant. Yeah.
And here's the fun part: she only knows how to cook using cooked meat, sugar, and flour. Mm-hmm. 3 things the monsters do not allow. Which is bullshit because they show a scene in the 4th one where they show the monsters spit roasting some meat. And I'm like...
Well, they eat meat, though. I think it's just sugar and flour that they don't like.
No, I thought they said cooked meat in the first... I don't even care enough to check.
Yeah, it's like the writer probably didn't care either.
Yeah, like... Oh my god. I can even sum it up even better. Can I sum up the entire thing in like one sentence? Sure. Dad got cancer, opens up shop gets closed down, fights for shop, gets shop back, bad guy turns good.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and it's not even that big of a deal. It's when the bad guy turns good. Because, like, it's only like 4 issues, and it's pretty clear that they're not going to make any more of these.
And I'm glad. I didn't have a headache when I started reading it. By the time I did all 4.
Yeah, we both, like, marathoned it, right?
Yeah. And I liked when I could tell where you were because I was usually like a little bit ahead of you. Mm-hmm. Her anxiety/depression is an actual character in this.
Oh, actually, yeah, you mentioned that, but it came across more metaphorical, but like through visual like means they were communicating it.
I understand what they were trying to do. I didn't like it.
Me neither.
Because all I could picture was just like, you know, this college student, this is their big art project, and you get to their teacher, and the teacher goes, there's this noise you make when you read it. That sigh.
And you should be able to communicate depression, visual or emotions in general visually. Like
Color.
yeah, like desaturate the colors is usually what I see or when showing depression. But this one it like actually makes the depression a character.
At times it shows like bones and skulls and a little creature.
Yeah, they really hit you over the head with it, which I think that's why we're having such a negative reaction to it. Is because it's just so obnoxious and it doesn't really play into the plot at all.
Like, do you know what I would do? They could even make it a character and have it work.
Yeah.
Have it just be, you could, do that Faustian thing, whispering in your ear, like, hey, look, if you didn't hire this goddamn stupid hipster harpy, you'd actually get your job done. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate every character in this moderately more than most, but I kind of like them as a villain.
Yeah, and she has, like you said, she has a good design.
Yeah, except when you told me she has dicks on her tail.
She has, like, she's drawn, like, the patterns on her tail look like double-ended dildos.
She's a snake.
Yeah. But yeah, most of the characters, they're either forgettable or, like, noticeably bad.
Like, the Korean engineer.
Oh, yeah. Is he Korean?
They use Seoul's in Korea, right? In South Korea. Yeah, they say, we come from Seoul for you to do this. They do the angry Asian parent trope. Because it's weird. It's swinging for the bats and avoiding every trope they can, but they'll still hit one of those ones.
Yeah, because, you're right. Because I actually said, like, I thought he was, like, ambiguously brown. Because, like, I was mentioning how at the beginning I thought that he was gay because, like, he was, like, turning away from, like, the Hawk Girl's advances. But by the end, like, they're making goo eyes. And, like, so I'm like, oh, he's just ambiguously brown and, like, non-threatening and has a Tumblr haircut. So it's okay for him to be straight. Oh. The brother, on the other hand.
Oh, the brother, the whole family, they're Swedish. Yeah. But they got the, excuse my term, the Aryan look.
Yeah. It's okay for the fat protagonist because she's fat and body positive.
But the handsome, blonde, blue eyes, tall, confident white street male.
Yeah, he's charismatic and therefore he's evil.
Yeah, like,
I mean, he's not really that charismatic because he's like he comes across as like a bully to.
And he's also French. He like uses a lot of French.
I thought he was just doing that as like being facetious.
Oh, like I couldn't tell if he was doing that because I really didn't give a shit. Yeah. I think that I gave more of a shit than the story writer did.
Yeah. And also they blame him like for when the last act where they get shut down because of the competition they have. It's really her who starts the competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but like they're blaming him for getting them shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's, oh no, we had a contest and we both got kicked out of the city.
Yeah, because they use flour and sugar in the recipe.
Yeah.
But like. And they ask him first, and and I don't think he even knows about the rule himself.
He doesn't.
Right.
And that's when sassy Black Naga comes up, or Crone, I don't know, sassy Black Naga. Yeah.
Well, she's white, but her legs are black though, right?
No, the one with the hair, the Naga, the villain.
Oh, her. No.
Yeah, Kron's her name.
Was she supposed to be black?
I think so. Something this isn't bad. They kind of do the thing. The big reveal is humans are treated like the stereotypical majority group, the white people. Yeah. And that's sort of the big twist. And to make this come more apparent, she's actually a civil rights fighter from their version of the 70s. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, I there's parts of this. The world building is moderately okay. Yeah. You could take elements of this. Even have monster civil rights be in the backstory. I might even use that. But you don't throw it away like they did. They had all this potential. It was building, and they just went.
Yeah. Well, even the monster stuff caught me off guard because
It's unnecessary almost.
yeah, exactly.
You could do this entire story and just make it like, oh, in this country we don't do flour and sugar for religious reasons.
As a metaphor, I could see what they were trying to do because it's about a young woman starting a new business, and that's scary, and monsters are scary. And you're meeting all these scary people for the first time. I could see how it would work with a better writer.
Yeah. Also, my other favorite line was, I think the giant at one point says like, "Hey, Mama, I need my gains."
Yeah, that. There's a lot of that
Memery?
contemporary speak, like you mentioned, the screaming internally panel.
Yeah.
There's not as much of that as I was expecting.
I'm glad about that because I would have hated this thing so much.
Most of it is kind of in the background. There's the hawk girl. Her one of her shirts she wears just says nope, 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 nope. I was like, ah. And then the brother, his food truck. It had the "We'll be back" sign, but it says BRB. And I'm like, there's just a few moments like that throughout the whole comic.
Yeah. Also, I kind of hope her dad died during it.
Well, that was weird where they show it because they hide his face throughout the whole comic.
And then they show. I was expecting
when they show it, he has this weird expression because he looks like he's horrified or like he's choking on something.
You know what I would have done?
It's supposed to be this emotional. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, we're hiding his face. Oh, well, no, you're gone.
Well, it's supposed to be this emotional moment where she's telling him, "Oh, I want to stay here and drop out of the competition because I'm happy where I'm at." And you think it'd be this warm, oh, is that? But he looks just it reminds me of the Fat Albert episode, the one where they meet the retarded kid, and the teacher tells Fat Albert, "Oh, he's retarded," and he just has this face it's like.
Do you know what I would have done in seriousness? I'm sorry, but I had this mental image. Hey, artist lady. What? We have 3 days to finish this. Alright. That facial expression sucks. Just color it. They won't notice. Because have you read the comments on the site I showed it to you on? Or the site you're reading it on? Mm-hmm. Oh my god, they were eating that shit up. Mm-hmm. I caught 1 negative comment in 4 issues, and I was reading. Yeah, but I was expecting they were gonna make him a vampire or vaguely a monster. And that was gonna be the twist. No.
I mean, even that expression, they could have just fixed it by covering it up with his beard. Such an easy thing to. There's actually a panel that I caught where the girl's driving, or the Naga is being driven to the restaurant, and the girl who's has she's holding the steering wheel. One of the lines of the steering wheel overlaps with her finger.
It's amateur.
Yeah, I wonder how much time they had to.
I have 2 theories. Either they had a strict deadline, which I believe maybe, or they just didn't give a shit because.
Yeah,
I've seen better stuff on DeviantArt involving anthropomorphic dinosaurs.
What kind of art?
Not comic art, where it was a society of dinosaurs or some crap like that. And they even did, Zootopia? Mm-hmm. It predated Zootopia by having carnivores as the minority. Mm-hmm. And they had one of my favorite, and the guy took the comic down. He was going to publish it, so he didn't want it on there. But I remember they had this character that was a T-Rex that was an Elvis singer. Mm-hmm. He was this old rock god, and it was the best thing ever. And then he got rid of it because it was weird because they had to, they gave them the mammalian breasts, but they had almost photorealistic dinosaur heads. It was Skyrim's Argonians, but weirder. Oh, back to this though. I don't even get the name. It sounds I can tell this, though. The woman, I'm not sure why I'm pointing at Jonesy, but the person who wrote Brave Chef Brianna really, really likes episodic anime. Mm-hmm. They even have a tournament arc. Yep. Twice.
Yeah, that it's like Food Wars, but without the titties. And even that's a disservice to Food Wars.
Wasn't that the one where they had the character who was cooking the steak with the giant American flag on her tits?
Yeah, I think that's it. Because it's the one where when they eat food and they have an orgasm and their clothes fly off. But it happens to both the men and the women.
I kind of like that anime from what I watched.
Yeah.
And they had, I like that one.
I haven't seen it, but
I've seen pieces of it, and I like what I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But this comic, I mean, like, I guess I can take I would like to take a moment to talk about the state of American comics at this point, because I don't know. Whenever a comic like this, or like Jonesy, like something Tumblr, like when Tumblr gets a comic published, people always say, "Oh, the comics industry is going down the crapper." There's always been really crappy comics here and there in the comics industry. It's just now I think it's because they're not, like, no comics are selling as big numbers as they used to.
We're starting to see the cracks in the cement.
Or at least it's more noticeable. Because, I don't know, for a while, I want to say in the early to mid 2000s, and I think that was when the Ultimate series was picking up off the ground. Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, I remember those sold really well, and it was sort of the rebirth of Marvel. And now it just seems like not only Marvel and DC, but everything around them is just kind of imploding. And
there's going to be a comic crash.
I mean, it seems like that's what's already happening. But not enough people really care about comics.
Marvel doesn't even care. They have the movies.
Yeah, that's where they're making all their money.
And the app games.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right.
But I play way too much.
DC is also, like, I don't know if they're losing money or if they're still making money off of their movies.
Because here's the thing. Marvel got a couple good runs. I remember liking Superior Spider-Man. Anything like that one?
Yeah, that's the one where Doc Ock possesses Spider-Man.
And I liked Gwenpool. Gwenpool is like the most Tumblr-y thing that I've read in a while. And I'm like, damn, it's good. It's got a couple weak points. Yeah, the one thing I will say this, I like the skeletons in this, but it's not because they're funny. It's for funnier than everything else. You know that joke where you put an ugly girl next to an uglier person, and suddenly that one person looks much better? Same effect.
Yeah, I would actually like to see a comic about those guys.
You know what you should do? Make it like a satire, like have like this guy who has to coordinate all these skeletons, so he keeps using buzzwords. And that's why we're like, team cooperation, appetizers.
Yeah, and the skeletons are responsible for probably the only good shot composition in the entire comic.
Is it when they're all coming in?
It's where they're all like they're all like huddled around the table, and they all are like joining hands in like this like corporate powwow thing, and they look like paper clips. So I thought, I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just like a fluke, but that was the one good shot in the entire comic that stuck out to me.
This comic's world could have been great.
Yeah.
You could have like done a thing like, call like, an anthology, like adventure, like Monster City Stories.
Yeah. Well, there is a better comic about monsters and fairy tales, and that is Shudder, which is kind of like.
I thought you were going to say Fables.
Well, Fables is another one that I've heard is good. But Shudder is a comic about a female photographer who lives in a city full of monsters and fairy tale creatures, and like she's a newspaper photographer. And I've heard, like, that's about all I know about the comic, other than the fact that it's really, really good. It has really good art.
There's a book here called Dragons and Dwarves. It's basically monster apocalypse, but it's not quite apocalypse. And sorry, I'm interrupting you, but like the world building is interesting from what I've read on the back, because I don't have time to read a book that thick. It's basically, oh no, monsters and elves are here, and they, and apparently there's like dwarves are a minority and they hate everybody. It's weird, and it's set in Cleveland, which is weirder. No, Cincinnati was set in, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, when did that come out?
I don't know. It looks like an older book.
Okay. But I guess like Shudder, that proves that good comics still do get made. It's just that they don't sell as well now.
Yeah.
I think that might have to do with the digital market.
Yeah, like Marvel has Netflix, but for comics.
Yeah. Are you talking about Marvel now?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't hear much about it, so I assume it's not doing as well. What's doing probably the best in the market is Comixology, which is what I always go to for digital comics.
Yeah. Are Marvel and Comixology? Do you get the big houses on Comixology? Like Marvel or DC, and figure it out.
Well, both. I mean, I think all publishers are featured on Comixology. And I think Marvel now is only for like the current ones, probably.
I'm not sure how recent they are. Marvel's been doing some noir comics that I really like. They did one with Luke Cage set in Prohibition times. And my favorite thing is that I don't understand half the thing we're saying because they use all, the jargon at the time. And it's like, oh, it's cool because, it's Luke Cage. I'm a sucker for Luke Cage. Yeah. Final, or do you have anything else to say?
Final thoughts on Brave Chef Brianna? Not really.
Have you rearranged the initials of the BBC? We all love our British broadcasting service.
You should have called her Brave Chef. No, wait. No, that wouldn't work. I was gonna try and retitle it to make it say BBW. It's like that's one thing that the voice in her head keeps calling her fat, and I'm like, she is fat. Like,
I mean, there's no way to cut it. Actually, with a kick nut, I'm sorry, but she's fat.
Yeah. Well, there's one line. I mean, they show her going for jogging. Yeah. And then they're like, why? It's either I exercise or stop eating cake.
And cake fills the void in my life.
Yeah, it's like you're obviously not that happy already. So.
Just imagine the comic if you lost 40 pounds or 80 pounds.
I mean, I don't know if I can.
But that would take away what little character she has.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really talk that much about because I just had a hot pocket before I got here.
Oh God! I'm trying to lose weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, you're trying.
And I still cave in. I cave in all the time. But the thing is that I think I'm doing pretty okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely look better now than you did a couple months ago.
I'm kidding. I did the mock glare. How dare you? Unfortunately, this means at this rate I won't be able to do that Jurassic Park parody I want to do.
Yeah. Man, this comic is just really good.
It drains you.
Yeah.
What the enjoyment I got out of it was listening to your reaction. But didn't you say you want to die during this?
Yeah, and that was a bit of an exaggeration.
I know, but I made jokes I'm not if you die after reading this, what happens is you have to read this for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it was still pretty bad.
How bad would you put out of 10?
Oh yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being really good and 1 being just I want to die. I want to say it's about a 4.
Okay. Man, I need to read more bad comics then.
Yeah, start with this one.
Oh, dude, no. The worst comic. I'll read horse shit, man. I tried reading Vote Loki, which was their version of Donald Trump election, Marvel, and holy shit, I couldn't get past the first couple pages because it was awful art. I was physically ill. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's something I noticed with. I really want to hammer this home with this comic. Is the art isn't. It's not god awful, but it is really lazy.
It's unappealing.
Yeah, it is unappealing. And it's not. I'm not saying that comic art has to be it doesn't have to blow your dick off, but it needs to be competent. And this one, it dips below competency, especially with the background art, the background art.
The character design's okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
Some of the monsters, the one chick, hipster harpy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the skeletons look good. The Naga lady looks good.
You would think it pissed me off. They stole her name. Crone was the name of a villain, not without the E. The name Crone, C-R-O-N, was used in Disney's Dinosaur. Is the name of the evil Mudaburasaurus.
It's also the name of the butler from Family Guy. I don't know.
Is there just this big conspiracy that if you're named Crone, you have to be evil and old-fashioned?
I think that...
We're beating a dead horse.
Yeah, we can wrap this up. This comic is terrible. I've been Tony.
I've been Zach.
And this has been The Monkey Bar.